Hey family, what's going on? This is J.L. Smith. Listen, I just wanted to come on and talk, sharing my heart with you guys today, and just really, share some basic principles to dating a man and interacting with a man. And this is more like the second phase of what I was talking about a week and a half ago. If you haven't watched it yet, you can go back and watch my video. That is 5 things you should consider before giving a man what he wants. You can go back on YouTube and watch that, and praying that it's a blessing for you. But today, I want to talk to you from a different angle, and I want to go actually a little further in depth to our conversation last week, because I want to deal with, relationships are not just about, sex. They're not just about those things. They have different aspects of them, and how you interact with a man, or how a man interacts with you, it can change the dynamics of the relationship. It can determine if it's going to be a healthy relationship or a bad relationship, a toxic relationship. And so before you get into the relationship, before you start dating this man, you gotta, get some identifiers as to, what you should be looking out for, and not only what you should be looking out for, but what you should expect in a relationship with the man. A lot of times we go into relationships and we don't have certain expectations outlined and already, put out there. And so when we get into a relationship and those expectations that we've internalized are not met, they're not met, they're not, accomplished, then we get disappointed and we're unhappy with the person in the relationship. So here in the beginning of the relationship, you need to outline what you expect or what you require going into it, so games are not played. All right. I grew up in Michigan, and the Detroit area of Michigan, and the women, my family is predominantly women, and I would see their interaction with men, and I got to say it was less than stellar. And that's not me ragging on anybody or anything like that, but I knew the women in my life deserved better. They deserved more. But I'll say not none, some of the men around them in their lives, they were not up to par. Okay? So this, this is me growing up, this is my experience. And the women that were in my life, my aunts, my grandmother, my mother, my sisters, my elder cousins, some of the men that they were with, not all of them, but some of the men that they were either married to or, involved with at the time, were not up to par. They were not the example of what a man should be in the life of a woman. And so as a little boy, I'm taking all this and I'm seeing all this, and I'm like, man, you got to handle this better. You got to handle that better. Or I can't believe you let him get away with this. I can't believe you let him get away with that. And so it did something to me growing up, and it made me make a decision, when it was my time to start dating and dealing with women on that level. What kind of man did I want to be? All right. So let's get into this. I want to talk to you guys about 5 reasons why you must require him to be a man. All right. 5 reasons why you must require him to be a man. Because when he steps to you, he can't just come any type of way, because you're a woman of value. You're a woman of high value. So he can't come and step to you any type of way and, just give you whatever he thinks that you're just going to accept. No. You don't operate like that. You don't operate on that level. You're a woman of value. You know who you are. You're a queen. You know who you are. You know where you're going. You know what's on your life. You know how God has blessed you. You know what you contribute to the rest of the world. So when you know these things, when you know who you are, you know how to conduct your life, how to operate your life, and you know what you're willing to accept and what you're not going to accept. And so you can start drawing boundaries and saying, this is too far. This is the line, and you getting ready to cross it, or you have crossed it. All right. So number one, let's get into this. When a man is a man, and he is, I'm talking about a real man, not a boy masquerading as a man. I'm not talking about that, because a lot of y'all make the mistake of you date boys who masquerade as men. I'm talking about somebody who is a man, a real man, all right? When he is a real man and he is approaching you and he's coming to you, number one, and when you require him to be a real man, number one, he must show you that he is equipped to manage responsibility. He must show you that he is equipped to manage responsibility. And there's so much right there I could get into that. Because, so I'm thankful for the women in my life, because they didn't want me to grow up like and be like the men that they had attracted, that they had been with. And so what they did from an early age is they start teaching me how to be responsible. My mother would give me my own key to the house and say, when you get home, make sure you unlock the doors, make sure you lock it and everything. I was responsible for that. I was responsible for taking out the garbage. I was responsible for cutting the lawn. I was responsible for, shoveling the snow in Michigan. I was responsible for getting up in the morning at 7 o'clock in the morning, helping my grandmother open up her store, her furniture store, setting out the furniture, moving it back in. I was responsible for those things. And so as an adult, that happened as a kid. And as an adult, I get up in the morning. I'm up at, 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, making decisions, not playing games, none of that stuff. I'm not just coming back into the house around 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm getting up, making decisions at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. By the time the rest of the world is getting ready to get their day started at about 9 or 8 o'clock, I've made 5 to 7 different decisions by that time on how the rest of the week is going to work, not just for myself, but for everybody else around me and the team that's around me. See, a man, he must show you that he has that he is able to handle responsibility on multiple levels. He has to show you that he is emotionally mature enough to handle responsibility. In other words, when he see bills, come in and everything, does he get mad? Does he get all depressed and everything? You don't need no man that, and I'm not, busting down or ragging on anybody or anything like that, because depression is real, but you don't need no man that's going to sit there and just be crying all the time because bills is coming his way, because something broke in the house, because something needs to be fixed, because he got to do this, because he got to do. No. You don't need no man that's going to be sitting there crying about it. You need a man that is going to say, hey, I can take care of this. I can handle the pressure. Not only that, he don't freak out and get mad and take it out on you because he feeling a little pressure. That's how you start getting into domestic violence, things of that nature, because that man can't handle pressure. Because he can't handle the pressure of the real world. All right? So he has to show you that he is emotionally mature enough to handle the weight of responsibility that comes with being your man. He has to show you that. Can he handle his world and your world? All right, I'm gonna leave that alone. Number two, or rather not number two, but let me get to my next point. He also must show you that he is mentally mature. In other words, can he prioritize? Is he spending his stuff on frivolous things that don't matter, things that don't bring value? Or is he trying to show you, I'm trying to level up in this area, I'm trying to invest in this area, I'm trying to put my money into buying a house, I'm trying to put my money into these stocks and these bonds and these mutual investments so we can retire, so I can have something to retire on when I'm 60, 65, when I'm 70. I'm not having to worry about a Social Security check because I got retirement money laid up. Where's his mentality at? You need to go into this thing asking, what is your 10-year plan? What is your 5-year plan? Where do you see yourself? Do you see yourself, living here? Or do you see where, you need to ask yourself these things. You need to ask him these things. Ask him, what is his plan? What is his game plan? What does he plan on doing with the rest of his life? He must be mentally mature enough to handle the weight of the responsibility that comes with being your man. He must be financially mature. And I know the fellas don't like to hear this and everything, but I'm just going to be honest, man. You can't expect to be in a relationship with a woman and you broke. It's not going to work, man. She's not going to want to hear that. She's not going to want to see that. You cannot expect to be in a relationship, much less get married to a woman, and you have no aspiration to be financially stable. It's not going to work. And when you don't require, let me help you, ladies. When you don't require that man, especially a low value man, when you don't require him to be financially stable before he put that ring on your finger, that should let you know right there that you're going to have to take care of that man for the rest of his life. That should let you know right there that he is not financially capable of doing it. Not only that, watch this. If you got to tell him that he needs financial increase, he has no ambition, no aspiration to go to the next level in his finances. If he just, satisfied with the bare minimum, you need to either run or you need to start demanding that he take some initiative to build his financial portfolio. My wife, I'm the more ambitious one out of us two. She's more, calm, steady, don't rock the boat. She's the manager of us two. I'm the more the visionary. I'm the more let's go after this, let's go after that. So she knows I'm always constantly thinking and putting and planning and putting together things that are going to bring more income into the house. Why? Because I understand that the financial weight is not on her to provide, it's on me. It's not a reflection of anybody else if I don't provide for her but me. If it's not a reflection of anybody else around you if he cannot provide for you but him. If you dating him and he telling you to pay for the date on the first date, you need to reconsider some things. You need to run. You need to run. Because he's showing you out the back that he is not where he needs to be. His pocketbook is not financially mature. I'm not saying that he's got to be making, $1 million, 7 figures a year. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is that his pocketbook needs to be financially mature enough to take care of you in your world. And real men, let me help y'all. Real men, we don't complain about it. We don't get mad about it or anything. Real men like to provide for their woman. Real men love it. We like it. We like to be able to say, yeah, I did that. We're disappointed. We get disappointed. We get upset. We get uncomfortable with a woman have to go outside of us to get provision. It doesn't work that way. God never intended it to happen that way. So your man must be able to if you got a problem, if you need it, he need to be able to have enough resources where he can reach in his pocket and go get it. And if he don't have it in his pocket, he has enough resources where he can pull on those resources to get the money in his pocket to give it. Fashionette, my wife, I didn't marry her until I knew I could financially take care of her. And even when she was making more money than me, I still never made her pay for the rent. I paid the rent. I still never made her pay the light bill. I paid the light bill. I still never made her pay certain bills. I paid those bills. She came to because she's a woman of value. She came to the table with some stuff already accomplished that was just hers. She came to the table like that. But I had the responsibility to provide for her financially. I have the responsibility to provide for my children financially. I have the responsibility to provide for my home financially. She not gonna want to hear at the end of the month when it's bills are due and everything, and I say, well, I ain't got no money. She's not gonna want to hear that. Pandemic or no pandemic. She's not gonna want to hear that. No woman is. And when I say that, I'm talking about you coming to the table, you not because you just got laid off your job, but because you have no ambition to put money into your pocket. A real man is gonna go out there and get it. He's not gonna allow the world to stop him from getting what he needs. And I'll take this: a real man is going to do it legitimately. He's gonna find a legitimate means to take care of his family. All right. Number 2. He must show you that you are a priority to him. I'm gonna debunk this myth, because it's in my generation it seems to be the worst. But I'm gonna debunk this myth. Your mama, men, your mama does not come before your wife. And I would say this: if you're in the dating phase, you need to start establishing boundaries between the woman in your life and your mama. All right? Because I hear too many of us in our generation say, well, my mama, my woman is my woman, or my wife is my wife, but my mama always gonna come first. No, sir. That's not even biblical order. That's not the order. That's not biblical order. The Bible says, for this cause a man shall leave his mother and his father and cleave, connect, join together with his wife. Now, I said all that to say a real man takes time to show his wife or his woman that she is a priority in his life. Ladies, if you have to beg him to make time for you, if you have to beg him to make you a priority in his life, then you need to reassess some things. Because I'm going to tell you this, a man is going to prioritize his life. A real man is. And he's going to put you in the top spot if you mean that much to him. Now, if he's not putting you in the top spot and you've made it known to him that he's not putting you in the top spot, well, then you need to re-examine some things about your relationship, because he's clearly showing you and telling you that you're not top to him. You're not number one to him. If he's not taking the time to show you and tell you and reaffirm that idea in your mind and show you in your mind that, hey, you number one with me. You got the top spot with me. You are a priority to me. My relationship with you is a priority to me. If he's not taking the time to show you that, then you need to readjust some things. And you've made it known to him. Don't be afraid to make it known to him. Let him know, I don't feel like you putting enough time into our relationship. I don't feel like you are putting me first. A real man intentionally considers his woman and puts her first. A real man intentionally considers his woman and puts her first. I intentionally do things to consider my wife. I intentionally do things to consider her as my woman. How would she feel about this? What would she think about that? Maybe I need to invite her to this, into this part of my life. I need to show her that. Because she's a priority. And her opinion carries weight. Her influence carries weight in my life. So your real man's going to let you know that your influence carries weight in his decisions, in his conduct. I'm going to get off that. A real man is going to let you know that your influence carries weight in his life. He thinks before he thinks about what he's going to do. That means he don't entertain certain things and certain people and certain relationships. Why? Because you are a priority. He considers you first. He makes sure that he's considered how you would feel about a situation before he enters into it. That's why he doesn't entertain other women. That's why he doesn't entertain certain conversations with other women. That's why he don't do this. That's why he don't do that with other women, because he considers that you are a priority and how you as that priority would feel about him doing this or how about him doing that, or how his conduct or his behavior in that moment with that person. I'm gonna help y'all. All right, number 3. He must show you that he can be exclusive with you. So this gets a little further into point 2. All right. See, and ladies, I'm going to say this to you. Don't be afraid to make it known in the beginning when y'all just talking on the phone and everything, getting to know one another. Make it known in the beginning. I'm telling you what to do. Make it known in the beginning that you are not for games. And if he has no intention of ever entering into an exclusive relationship with the woman, that he should lose your number now. It will save you the heartache down the road. All right? Because if he never makes his intentions known of being exclusive with you, he's going to leave you hanging on a rope forever. I told you earlier, a real man is intentional about how he handles his woman. So a real man is going to intentionally let you know in the beginning, this is what I'm about, this is who I am, and this is what I'm looking for. And a real man is not going to start playing the games, which means you have to make it be known in the beginning that you will not hesitate to cut that joker off if he starts to show the slightest bit of games being played. Because here's the problem. The moment you don't make it known that you're not for the games is the moment, if he's a low value man, that he'll start playing the games that he plays. Men of low value only play games when they are allowed to play. I'll say that again. Men of low value only play games when they are allowed to play. If you allow him to mess over you, he will. Which means you have to draw the line in the sand in the beginning and say, hey, I'm looking for a man that one day is going to enter into marriage with me. And if he's not going to enter into marriage with me, if you're not that man, you're not looking for marriage, you just looking to play the field and everything, lose my number, because that's not what I'm about. You're not going to waste my time, and you're not going to waste my time trying to make a decision. I told y'all this last week. You end up with so much baggage because you allow the man access into your life without him proving his worth first. And as a result, he messes over your life, messes over you, messes over your life and destroys everything, then leaves you at baggage claim with all this baggage, and he takes another flight with another woman. He's somewhere else while you paying the cost of all the baggage that you and him accumulated together. A real man makes it known that he has intentions of being exclusive with you or not. A real man is not for the games. All right. Number four. He must show you that he is capable of respecting you. Respect, I'm really big on respect because I've seen so many women in my life disrespected. I'm really big on respect. I'm big on respect for men and women. I've seen men be disrespected. I've seen women be disrespected. I'm big on respect. I don't like disrespect. I don't like to see anybody disrespect anybody. All right? And so, in my opinion, respect, or rather disrespect, cannot be tolerated. The slightest hint of disrespect from a low value man, if you allow him to do it, show you the slightest disrespect, then he will run with it. This is a low value man we're talking about. Real men will not show you disrespect. They're going to respect you from out the gate. As a matter of fact, because they respect you, they're going to approach you like a real man. Because they respect you, they're going to approach you in the beginning, in the origin, like a real man. And listen, let me help you, ladies. Respect in your relationship with your man is not an option. It's not an option. It's a requirement. Just like he's going to require you to respect him, you got to require that he respects you. It's not an option. It's not an option. Because most men get into relationships and they feel like, boom, I got her locked down and everything. I don't have to respect her anymore. Not so. There must be a level of mutual respect. There must be a level of mutual respect. When all the fighting stops and all the stuff, we still got to have respect. All right, lastly, and not only that, he must respect you. He must respect your family. He must respect your contribution. He must respect everything about you. He has got to respect you. All right. Number 5, and then I'm done. Lastly, he must take ownership. He must show you that he can take ownership. Men of value do not sit and complain about problems. They take ownership and fix problems. If he is not willing to take the lead to resolve a matter, then you need to require him to do such. Real men lead, period. Point blank. I don't wait for anybody else in my house to take the lead. I take the lead. When there's a problem, I fix it. When there's an issue, I address it. When something needs to change in my house, I confront it. Why? Because I am the leader of my home. I'm the leader of my relationship. I don't wait on my wife to do anything. I make it happen. I initiate it. And she follows behind me. Real men lead. They take initiative to make things happen in the house, to make things happen in the relationship. They lead. They change. I remember early in our marriage, me and Fashionette would have issues in our marriage, and we would argue back and forth about things. And I'll be transparent with it now, and how we would be mad at each other and we just wouldn't talk to one another. And my pastor, who is Bishop R.C. Blakes Jr., for those of you that are on here from his page, he would tell me, he would come and address the issues with me first. And he would tell me that, hey, he would deal with me first. He would work to correct my behavior first as a man, because he's told me, he said, men are the leaders of their homes. And so the dynamics and the climate, all of that revolves around your leadership. And so I still live by that today. So I intentionally do things in my house to make sure that the climate of my house is at the level that it needs to be, is at the place that it needs to be. Real men lead their homes. They don't follow behind the home. Real men set the tone for what their home is going to be like, what their relationship was going to be like. Fashionette didn't ask me to marry her. I came to her and said, it's time for marriage. Will you marry me? I initiated that conversation. I initiated the conversation about preparing for children. I initiated the conversation about moving, things like that, buying houses. I initiate those. Why? Because I have a vision for my family. I have a vision for my relationship. I take ownership. My friends around me, they take ownership. Real men take ownership. We don't complain. We don't pass the buck. Real men take ownership. All right? Listen, I'm done. I hope something was said, and it blessed you guys, and I hope this touched you. Listen, I am reading your comments. I'm touched by your comments. I got to be honest. I'm glad that this is helping you guys. And listen, feel free to email me at info@jlsmithglobal.com for different topics you want me to talk about. I will address them. I'll talk about them. Feel free to reach out, and just say, hey, I want to hear about this, or I want to hear about that. And I'll take that stuff into consideration. I'll address it and I'll talk about it. All right. Lastly, make sure you guys are visiting my website. It's www.jlsmithglobal. And make sure you're following me on Instagram, JL Smith Global. You can also follow me on Facebook. Lastly, you see this video? I want you to like and hit subscribe as well if you're just visiting. Subscribe. Help me get those numbers up. We're trying to get to a certain place by the end of the year. I want you to help me get those numbers up. Help me get those numbers up. And I'm just excited about what you guys are doing, what you guys are commenting, how you guys are sharing your thoughts and your feelings. And I'm just appreciative of all the love that you guys are showing me on YouTube. So help me get those likes up, hit subscribe, turn on the notification symbol. I'll see you guys next week. God bless you. I love you.